Okay, I've only read up to that and decided to make this video because I was so excited, but we're gonna go through weapon changes. We didn't see any. Did we go through all the classes already? Templar, Sorcerer, Knight. Yeah, okay. Last update had way more changes, but that's okay. Cleave increased the damage over time for this ability, and it's morphs by 20%. The damage was decent before, but Cleave is just doesn't really replace anything on current DPS meta. I mean, Wrecking Blow hits way too goddamn hard. Surprise attack is instant cast. We're not seeing Cleave initial damage reaching expected amounts. The passives are always nice, the ult regain and the shield amount, but this 20% dot damage increase I don't think we're going to see implemented. But, you know, people might have their own non-meta builds that they want to run with it. Okay, redesign this morph so it no longer passively increases the damage. Oh, okay. Instead, it increases the scaling bonus damage to low health targets to a maximum of 350%. Increase from. Okay, this spell, Reverse Slash, was supposed to be changed to a Zerg busting spell. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually gonna run this more for my stamina build. I like 50% more increased damage than, you know, the 18% increased damage on low health targets. Basically, you could kind of execute people with Wrecking Blow. I mean, if they had like 1% health, you were doing like more 17.999% increased damage on your Wrecking Blow. So spells, two-handed spells generally had some kind of scaling increased damage on low health targets. I'd rather remove that 18%, just get that extra 50%. Executioner is like one of those spells you could use at really high HP, like a 40%, 50% health, and still do a reliable amount of damage. I really respect players like Jack Daniel who don't use Wrecking Blow or jabs. They go set up their burst with, let's say, heavy attack, poison inject, follow up with a crit charge. That damage all lands at the same time. You know, execute and they're dead, or, you know, execute and you're doing reliable damage. Hopefully this just promotes more kite and bite PvP, where people will throw some burst on you, heavy attack, poison inject, for example, and go in for some high HP executioners. It's a good and bad thing. I don't know. This could be crazy, where people are just one-shotting you from half health based on how much damage they stack, and that could be a huge issue. So maybe decrease the percentage value and increase the base damage, and this will become more of a reliable spell than a godly executioner, because that's what executioner is right now. You cast it on people and they just melt, because without that 50%, even when it's at 300% plus the 18% the other morph of executioner had, it just does a lot of damage right now. It's just really strong as is, and I don't think it needs to be stronger. You know, scratch my tangent. I think it just needs to be worked out so that it just doesn't melt people for, you know, 20k executioners at 1% health kind of thing. A stronger or a higher value of initial damage and less percentage, I think, would be healthy. Kind of like Whirlwind, but Whirlwind's trash now. So that's what, I don't know, it's just a tangent, but that's what I want to see with this executioner. A lot of the executioners in the game right now only go up to 200% to 250%, aside from executioner and Jesus Beam. So just, you know, make executioners on par with each other. This is obviously the strongest executioner in the game. We don't count Jesus Beam because that's not even that's its own category of a spell. That thing's fucking undodgeable. You know, ticks every half second. That spell doesn't even register as a spell. It's just an auto win button. Forward momentum, increased duration, the snare, and immobilization immunity provided by this morph. Okay, I don't think people are gonna be running this. I don't know. I play Templar, so if I get snared, if I get debuffed, Purifying Ritual helps me. Again, stamina builds will use Shuffle. Yes, that spell costs a lot, but is it really worth giving away that burst heal every 10 seconds for, you know, CC or immobilization immunity? This actually oh, okay, so snare and immobilization. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It'll help you get away from Zergs. I just don't think it's worth getting rid of a heal for. You know what I mean? Vigor's amazing, don't get me wrong, but like the new Sorcerer Shields, it only lasts like 6 seconds and is a heal over time. It's a really short duration, but a pretty nice heal over that duration. So I think the heals over time on stamina builds are really nice right now, and they do need a burst heal, like every class does, or every meta playstyle like Stamina or Magicka does. So I don't think this is worth giving up for. I'm gonna stop going on tangents and speed up because I think this video is getting too long now. So where are we at? Reverse slice. Oh, okay. I confused the morphs here. So this one actually increases splash damage as they promised. So again, buffed Executioner, buffed Reverse Slice. We're seeing buffs, a lot of buffs to Henry right now. So this splash damage is negligible. I mean, you're not going to AoE execute a group unless you already have people going in and proxy deading. So again, this is more of a support-oriented spell rather than something you'd use 1vx or small group. This is just a support group spell, so it's not going to make it into tier 1 builds, and I'll explain the 3 tiers of builds, tier 1, 2, and 3, and what they mean in another video when I do my Templar video next, hopefully. But this is not going to do anything dramatic to the game. Can almost guarantee that. Okay, upgrade this ability. I can blow more for no longer lockback. Oh shit! Holy crap! Scratch that. 200 got nerfed. Wrecking Blow will continue to add major empower. Okay, this is a freaking huge nerf. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of Wrecking Blow spammers anymore. Yeah, the spell hit hard before, but the thing that made Wrecking Blow OP was the long ass stun that allowed you to get off another ability while you were CC breaking out. So you could hit them with a strong ass Wrecking Blow, you know, while they're at low health or take a dramatic amount of damage. You could, you know, potentially cast another Wrecking Blow or even execute them while they're CC breaking it. So, wow, take that CC. Am I reading this wrong? Yeah, wow, this is interesting. Huh, I don't know how I feel about this. I wish people used Dizzying Swing more often, but that's such a 1v1 oriented spell. Oh shit. No longer apply the minor Mayim debuff, but it will knock back and stun. So, excuse me, I'm a little bit tired, just came back from school and stuff, but basically Wrecking Blow gives you the Empower version, and Dizzying Swing gives you the CC from the previous or current Wrecking Blow. I like that. That's balance right there. I'm going to be using Dizzying Swing on my Stamina build because I don't like my Throwing Spear on my Stamplar. The knockback's too long and I can't set up my damage knocking somebody across the map. So I might use Dizzying Swing. I like it a lot. That's really solid change. I hardly consider that a nerf. It's a nerf to a broken ass concept or a broken ass version of the spell. One-handed shield. Okay, defense stance. Ensure where the morphs is still not effective. Trigger on every reflection. Wow. If you layer defensive stance with any other reflective. Okay. Didn't know that. No, good thing people didn't abuse it. Okay, increase the damage of this ability and its morph by 85%, son of a bitch. But it will no longer stun. Oh! Damn! Okay, so sweet. Power Bash got a damage increase. Makes no sense, because Sword and Shield already has low slash, which is pretty hard hitting, and the piercing version, the sword stab version, which reduces armor and costs nothing. So I don't know how this is gonna fit into the play of things, but one of the morphs does give ultimate, I think. No, that's again low slash. I don't know how this is gonna beat low slash or pierce armor. The first two sword and shield spells reduce the range of this ability. So, wow, okay. Yeah, reduce range, which, you know, it's kind of a big difference. I mean, melee spells, you can get kited, so that's something, a 2 meter range is actually pretty big, depending on if you're chasing a stamina build with a bow or a sork teleporting around. Power slam, this build is made base. Okay, we redesigned more slotted. We redesigned this morph, so while slotted, blocking and attack will increase the damage of your next power slam by 5 seconds. or by 25% for 5 seconds. Um, um, this might be more heavy armor oriented, where the blocking and kite and bite, no, it doesn't really apply. The tank and spank concept is being promoted here, where it's not all about just smashing your enemy with as much damage as you can and they die. It's a little bit about taking that damage and being able to dish it back. It's not like this is going to change anything like revolutionary change, but this is something people might start considering. And I have a feeling, oh god, there's a lot to read. I'm going to start being a little more quick with this, but I have a feeling heavy armor is going to see some nice changes. But again, I haven't read this far previously. It fixed issue with this ability and it's more, so we're now dealing their final tick of damage. It will now tick 6 times of their full duration instead of just 5 times. Huh. Okay. Not a big deal. Damage is negligible. Rename this Bloodthirst. Okay, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. And just changes made to the ability. Base ability. This morph has been redesigned, so now heals you for 6% of the damage done with the final hit. Oh, I feels like total damage done. This thing does more damage than Wrecking Blow. But it's just the final hit that heals, which is a nice change. The Blinding Fury version didn't really do much. I think it was the one that knocked enemies off balance. Had a chance to knock enemies off balance. So this is nice change, but we're not, again, nothing revolutionary. Maybe I'll try Fury. Okay, redesign this more so no longer grants throwing knife. Oh, thank God. It increases the duration. Increases the area of effect damage. Increases the area of effect damage by 70%. What? So one version of the cloak, the one I use, gives you movement speed, because I don't like using bow on my Templar. But this morph increases the area of effect damage by 70%. Yo, this might bring back Spin to Win. I don't see Steel Tornado in here. Oh, that's unfortunate. Because Steel Tornado, I was using it in a Zerg the other day, and it just wasn't doing shit. And I was sad. Reduce the channel duration for this ability, and it's more. Oh wow, wow! We're gonna see a huge DPS increase on Flurry. Less than half the duration it'll hit. Almost as many times. This spell is gonna be nice. This spell is gonna be really nice. Unfortunately, it's on dual wield, so dual wield, as we know, doesn't have gap closers. But maybe Night Blades will start using this, where they can just spam bush and then use this instead of surprise attack, which doesn't really make sense. But this spell is definitely relevant right now. Definitely relevant. It did pretty good damage. You know, if you were a DK or a Stamplar and you wanted to change things up, but I mean, you cut that time in half and does the same amount, almost the same amount of damage. It's gonna be huge. I'm high hopes for Flurry. Reduce overall cost to compensate for. Oh, what the fuck! I speak too soon. I don't know, man. Like Cinemax, you almost had me there. This spell would have been like, holy shit, this guy has dual wield. Focus him, take him out. But now it's just like, oh, we reduce the damage and cost. I don't know. Again, I'm gonna test a lot of these things and maybe put a video on it. But again, let's try to be brief with the patch notes. It's taking too long. The total DPS when using these abilities should not remain unchanged. Okay, yeah, thanks Cinemax. 50% damage debuff, but again, duration's 50% as long. Increase the amount of time this ability has more to provide the major brutality. Ah, okay. That's fine. That's cool. It's actually really good. I don't know why I'm sighing. Rapid strikes changes the ability. Okay. Okay, so this ability is the other morph of Rapid Strikes. Basically, you get 3% more damage on hit, rather than 2%. Oh, to account for the decrease in total hits. That makes sense. It's cool. It's whatever. It doesn't really mean anything. Just something they had to implement so that the spell didn't receive a nerf. Just changes made to the base ability. 2 daggers. Bounce. The 2 dagger bounce of this morph now deals 20% additional damage per bounce from the initial damage increasing from dealing a flat 50% initial damage. Oh, what? It got nerfed? 20% additional damage per bounce rather than a flat 50% initial damage. Oh, okay. Did we see a hidden blade change? I don't think so. I don't know what they're referring to. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah. empowering 10 seconds longer, or major brutality 10 seconds longer, and we're seeing a damage change here where bouncing, I don't know, it's that kind of fucked that spell up. I don't use this morph anyway. I like the really long range blade. It's not like I use it. I haven't been using it lately, but the really long flying blade's really good for catching people. It does pretty good damage, and you know, the extra 10 seconds on major brutality is really nice too. Draining shot, redesign this more so it now heals you when the story ends. What? This is gonna be garbage if, you know, CC breaking doesn't count as a disorient ending, which it probably won't. I mean, logically it won't. But you know, if somebody's crazy enough to wait 8 seconds, however long the disorient is, at least you'll get healed. Again, we don't know how much the heal is, and we don't know if disorient will be removed on CC break without healing. But again, this looks promising, or it's just whatever. A change that doesn't make any difference. Increase the amount of increase the damage over time from this ability. Okay, yeah, I think Poison Arrow needed a buff. It only really did really well. It only did good damage at really low health, 15% health. It started hitting really hard, and that was when it was dangerous. But before that, its Poison Arrow was nothing intimidating. Renamed, or Poison Injection is what I'm referring to, the one that does more damage based on missing health. It's actually more for Poison Arrow, but we're gonna see Poison Injecting doing more damage, which is nice. It's promising. I think it's deserved. Scorched Earth, renamed this morph to Endless Hail. Resign this morph so it now increases the duration of the arrow volley to 10 seconds. I think it's at 6 seconds right now. Reduces the cost and deals physical damage instead of flame damage. Cool. Physical damage again scales with your penetration. That's nice. Whether this is going to be good, I think volley is strong. If you have the Maelstrom bow, it can be situationally strong. Again, have everybody in a tight area, or it could be used as a defensive spell where you cast it on yourself and then have melees come at you, and they'll be taking some nice dot damage. Duration increase is going to buff the Maelstrom bow, because the Maelstrom bow, what it does is it increases the damage of volley by like 150 per tick, or per half second. So that it stacks up really nice, or really well when it the duration's it's at full duration. And since they're increasing the duration, that's going to be promising. Again, this is not like a revolutionary change, but this is something that will promote volley. And I think volley is a nice spell to have, but again, it's situational. Not everything that's situational is beneficial for builds. I personally, my spells on my bars are specifically designed for multi-purpose. No spell on my bar has one purpose only, unless it's like entropy. But I mean, that spell has a lot of other utility as well. I can explain some other time. But yeah, I think you need to optimize your builds to do as much as they can with that one ability, rather than a situational ability that does a lot of damage if they're standing in a small AoE on top of you, or in an area you target, which is not likely. People usually don't stand inside of AoEs unless, you know, they're crazy or drunk. This ability is more so can no longer shield allies through walls. Great. I like to see that. That's another skill change.